Fucking hell, it's a lot of noise. Hello. Right, okay, so reversing. Of course, when we're reversing, what we're doing is we're thinking about our direction of travel, really. At the moment, I'm parked in a bay car park. There's traffic coming from the left, and the exit is over there on my right. And of course, I need to try to reverse the car out to face that way to try to go to where I'm going. Big concern about all that noise, that car behind me. I also feel a bit weird just doing this by myself. Okay, so I've got my mirror set up. Now, the whole purpose of the mirrors is obviously so as, while I'm looking forward, I can see everything that's going on behind me. I can see down the side of the vehicle. A couple of things to think about there, though. When I look in that centre mirror, I'm obscured by the roofline, so I can't see anything that's above. Whereas in the door mirrors, just a little duck of the head, and I can see everything that's above there. So things like I might be able to see if a van driver is paying attention, like if they're coming up behind me or something. If I'm on a hill through the rear window, I'm only going to be able to see down through those mirrors. I can see everything else, so it does give me a good wider scope of what's going on. And of course I can see a lot of what's going on back there, and I can use my blind spots to see everything else. So I've got good all-round vision. Now before I move off, I'll just start the car up. What I need to do is an all-round observation. Now if that's my direction of travel, think about observations. One of the easiest things to do is think about which direction you're going in. So where is you going to be looking to last, because that's the place you're going to be entering. So if I'm parked up at the side of the road, assuming there's a pavement on my left and there's traffic on my right, and I'm parked at the side of the road, I want to start my observation from the left to the door mirror, forward and back, right door mirror and right blind spot, because that's where I'm going to be moving into when I move off. So when I do a reverse maneuver, I'm doing it differently because my direction of travel is backwards. So I want to start over my right shoulder. I've covered everything at the right there, forwards and backwards, right door mirror, and then right blind spot. Of course, I've already got the vehicle prepared, looking all the way around, and that way I can see if anything's going to come at me or not. Now, whilst I'm doing this, my blind spot's going to be critical. Driving forwards, use the windscreen and my windows either side of me. When I'm going backwards, it's the other way around, and I'm obscured by the pillars at the rear there. I can see so much, but I'm not going to start driving at 5 miles an hour. Now, a lot of people, when they ask, will say, oh, 5 miles an hour is the sort of speed you want to be traveling backwards at. Absolutely not. If you've got a digital speedo, you don't want that thing to touch 1, ideally, because you're trying to creep out at snail pace. Every time you look away, there's a developing hazard potentially somewhere else. So you've got to be eyes absolutely everywhere. Now, the mirrors are good when you're glancing round. Your head needs to see where it is you're moving. Now, at the moment, I'm about halfway out of my space with about 30 degrees of turn on. I can now see through my blind spot anything that's coming up this way, anything to the back of me still, and in my mirrors I've got a broad view of everything that's going on down there. Now, the car, as the front end springs out, I want to be very, very careful about what's going on in that space there. As I do that, I'm just making sure that I'm not going to be coming at anyone walking past like a big, slow baseball bat around their knees or something. All the while, that corner of the car is going off in that direction, so I'm covering all that space there, making sure it's good. Periodically checking just to make sure there's not a child that's running off out in front of me. Actually, that's another good point. As I come back, I can only see everything that's above the ground. Now, the door mirrors are great because you can see ground level. So if I'm going backwards, I can see directly behind me. I can confirm that there's not a dog down there either. Reverse parking sensors might be going off, might not. I can see there is a car now. So whilst I've got my eyes on that car, if I'm going backwards, I'm going to hold still. I'm going to wait for them to decide. I'm going to put this back in. I don't want to be a nuisance to them, but I've got an eye on them, seeing where they're going. I'm going to go back and reverse, and again an all-round observation, starting from my right, finishing all the way around to my left. The front end of the car is coming up this way, nothing over there. Anything going on across the car park, nothing there either. Nothing down on ground level, nothing directly in front of me, nothing directly behind me. And now I can put it in first gear to move forwards, and an all-round observation again before I move off, and away I go nice and safely. And that's basically it. You just got to keep an eye on which way the car is moving. when you drive backwards. If you could, you turn the seats around and face out that window, but you can't. So you have to look all the way around. And of course the mirrors are helpful for so many things, but your primary thing is to look out those mirrors. I'm just reversing back into that space now, and I can see, for example, now my target area is over there. So I'm still looking around and finishing off my target area to make sure it's clear. I've got that firmly on my radar. I'll make sure no one's getting in the way of me in that space. Still making sure that I'm not going to be scraping any cars in front of me. I can use my mirrors to see ground level so I know where it is I'm moving into. And I'm not missing a thing. If there were 3 different newspapers either side of me, people holding them up like that, I could read all 3 of them, or at least I should be able to read the headlines. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm only doing this at creeping speeds. I'm periodically stopping just to check what I'm doing. Some people might say I'm doing this at a granny pace. The important thing is I'm doing it safely. I'm not trying to be a maverick or a hero or something. It's all done nice and controlled, okay? So just sort of like inching in at a time, but I've got everything covered. For the most part, I probably didn't use the mirrors at all. In particular, the centre mirror, I just made a physical head check there. The door mirrors are very good, but they're no replacement for your own eyes, and that's what they're going to be looking for. Okay. Why won't it stop?